Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you everyone for joining us for another episode of Sessions with the Sayyid. Sayyidina, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa
Alaikum
barakatuh.
assalam wa rahmatullah.
How are
Good
you
to see
doing?
you. I'm good. How are you?
Alhamdulillah. So for today's episode, we're going to be discussing the violations and solutions to modern forms of leisure and the way I like to put it, the fiqh of chilling.
The fiqh of chilling. Okay.
So when I think of chilling, I think of people going to a shisha bar or to maybe a sporting event or even just having a sahra in someone's basement, or in our community they like to do it inside their garage. So that's the type of things that I think of when I think of chilling. So what are some maybe issues that we see in these gatherings and how can we solve them?
It's good that we're having this conversation because I think it's something that very little have given attention to. The fiqh. Fiqh meaning the rules, the laws, the Islamic legal aspect of, and then chilling. What is chilling? To chill would be to leisure, to lounge, to have good company, basically to wind down. There is a fiqh to that. What is the fiqh of chilling essentially? Now, obviously, we know good company is nice, it's encouraged, it's mustahab to surround yourself with like-minded people, mustahab to have good company. At the end of the day, humans are social, we yearn for the company of others, and we should see our fellow brethren and sisters as our brothers and sisters in Islam. إنما المؤمنون إخوة فأصلحوا بين أخويكم واتقوا الله لعلكم ترحمون. That surely the believers are brothers. And so reconcile between one another so that you are able to attain victory in this life. We can only attain victory and be victorious when we have the aid of other. You know, I know the ayah of the Quran that talks about Prophet Musa and his Harun, and his brother Harun. سَنَشُدُّ عَضُدَكَ بِأَخِيكَ. And we will make you stronger and strengthen your back with your brother. And we will bring for you a sultan, a type of power, that you guys are united together. So we like company. So when we chill, I think I bring this because usually it is that which involves the company of other people. So you said sahras. What is a sahra? When people gather late night, typically. Sahranin. When you stay late and not sleep. It's actually recommended to be up at night, to ponder about the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There is a hikmah to being awake, waking up, salat al-layl. You see this as a common motif within the Islamic heritage, whereby there is an encouragement, of course, not at the jeopardy of one's sleep and priority, but to do that with good company is even more attractive. Now, at times when you're in good company, you might loosen up more. So, what are some of the rules in that? Number one, of course, you don't want to have company that has the bad influence. Because we are the sum of the top 5 friends we hang around with, are we not? We are the average sum of the top 5 people that are with us. I will then mold my attitude contingent to the attitude of those that are around me constantly. That's why I love being in your company. Love being in good mu'mineen, like-minded out there, because I want their influence to influence me, because their influence is always a positive one. In their akhlaq, in their iman. I know people, one thing that in discussion of this, people keep forgetting is salah. So when we're chilling with people, I've had this happen with me so many times, and I'll get labeled too. I personally have gotten labeled too religious. For what? It's salah time, I just want to go pray. We're all here, we're together, we're watching something, we're either playing something, and I am the guy that goes on and wants to go pray. Now, it's not me trying to say, look at me, I'm amazing, how I'm praying. Habibi, I'm just doing the bare bone minimum. It's called the bare bone minimum. It's salah, I wanted to pray. You're too religious. Why are you doing this? Are we not all here? It's like, I'm not asking, let's all do salah jama'ah. Of course, that would be nice. And wouldn't you love to be with a group of people that collectively they say, hey guys, I know we're having fun, let's just pray to Allah. It literally will take you no more than 7 minutes, 5 minutes, praying dhuhr. It's over with, man. Don't worry. 5 minutes, spare that, and chill your head off until the next salah. At night though, I know it's commonplace to see like a gathering that is one. So I say this and I'm yearning for such gatherings, right? Because we like these companies. good company, good food at night, someone's backyard. But then the night goes on and on and on. And guess what happens? Salat al-Fajr kicks in and we go home before Fajr because no one likes to chill for that long. That's a long time to hang around. So we go home, people then knock out and they miss their Fajr. You defeated the purpose of having good company. Because if good company makes you miss your salah, that was bad company to begin with. Maybe the company was good, but you didn't prioritize your principles. What are they? Allah encourages us to have mu'mineen friends around us, but Allah makes it wajib and obligatory upon us to pray. So if I am missing the obligation because of that which I am recommended to do, which one takes priority? The obligation. So one thing you can do, and I'll say it like this, if you're chilling and just an hour before Fajr prayer kicks in, just an hour before, you guys all decide to wrap up, don't wrap up, stay. Don't wrap up and go. Why? Because when people start going home at that point, they're just going to go to sleep. They're going to go to sleep. I'm done. That's it. We've hung out for this long. There's a reason why we're wrapping up. It's just because we're tired and sleepy. No, you're going to stay.
Might as well just stay the
Just
extra
stay,
hour.
man. Forget it. Just stay and pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Don't miss this. It's because of Allah that you have this good company. Now, if the company doesn't care about salah and your priorities, what is a good company to begin with?
I think something that we see common in gatherings is that maybe they don't prioritize something like this. Alhamdulillah, I am able to be in your company, in the
Habibi.
company of others who prioritize Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we always put prayer before everything else. But I know that some people may not be able to say that for themselves, and that they could be in a gathering, for example, of people that really like to backbite. And some people don't know the dangers of backbiting and how severe it can actually be. So how can we actually like solve a problem like this? Do we just leave the Sahra? Do we tell people, hey, stop backbiting? Or what should we do in a situation
You
like
know,
this?
there are always beautiful descriptions of what it means to be a true friend. It's when your friend is being spoken ill of, you defend them. Your teacher is spoken ill of, you defend them. Your father is spoken, you defend them. It's called loyalty. It's called being someone that has principles. If you fall for everything, you stand up for nothing. If I allow this guy to talk about the things I value the most, God, backbiting, other people, they're, tarnishing their names and reputation, even if they're telling the truth. This is a very commonplace, by the way, that people can be like, oh, did you hear what happened? It's the truth. But this is not news people would like you to share. They wouldn't want this to be public information. If they didn't publicize it, why are you coming and revealing them? Because everyone has skeletons in their closets, not just them that you now are revealing. You better be quiet now, because one day, what's holding the people in attendance back from revealing your secrets? Oh, I didn't lie. They're true. They're true. But you don't reveal other people's private things. Somehow you got word of it. Maybe they trusted you enough, but that doesn't mean you go and tell others, for example. And so we might see this happen. What do? The best thing to do is to stand up for this, and stand up against this, rather, and bring it to their attention. But you have to be creative. You can't necessarily go, hey guys, it's not nice that we talk about this. You turn into like a school teacher, right? Maybe that is effective. Maybe that does work, by the way. Other times, it's more like using your own creative manner to bring across the message. Hey guys, instead of this, did you hear what happened? Bring some other news up. Let's continue watching the game, please. You're distracting us. So you might need to improvise. It can happen, but that's one way to stop such moments from occurring. Furthermore, I would discourage anyone from going into a gathering where you're not comfortable enough to put people in their place if they speak out of place. So why are you in that gathering? If you're with a bunch of people, if they speak out of place, you're not comfortable to speak out and stop them. You're not even comfortable to be in such a gathering to begin with, if you're not even comfortable to speak about. So in that case, reassess why you're here, for example. Sometimes it's a mistake. Some guys, it gets to their head, some girls especially too, where it's like now they're comfortable, they want to let out some information. People do this. Now they want to bring some news that's newsworthy. Hey, did you hear what happened? Did you hear what she did? Did you hear what he said? When that happens, it's fine to be with such people, but remind them, maybe this isn't information we need to be talking about. Why are we talking about this? Yeah, I heard they struggle, but why do we need to bring this up? Think about it this way. If I wouldn't want people to reveal my information, then I shouldn't be willing to hear about other people and their information, but my friend is happening to be the one to say it, or happens to be the one to say it. So, no, you don't leave the gathering. If these are people that you are acquainted with, try to change it. Now, if there's no room, then yeah, reassess the nature of such gatherings. If it's just a gossip group, and by the way, this goes into group chats as well. There are groups that just gossip. There are group chats, you're in them. It's just, did you hear, did you hear, did you hear? Get out of that group chat. There's really no need to be there, especially if you're not someone that can speak up against these things. So that's one aspect of chilling that we need to keep in mind. Another aspect is exactly the company that we're with. We may have spoken about the barriers between men and women, but sometimes if we're chilling with women as men, we need to reassess the nature of the gathering. Am I hanging out with another man's wife? Forget the other man's wife. I think we need to stop bringing significance to women based on whose association they have. Husband, wife, etc. You're hanging out with another person in the gathering. Can a guy and a girl hang out with a bunch of people? Because I remember we would always say that if you're alone, then shaitan's the third of the three. What if I'm with other people? What do you think?
I still think that if the nature of the gathering is rooted with evil, shaitan's going to be sitting in that gathering.
No one will tell you, let's have a gathering that's rooted with evil.
Well, not like that.
They're going to be like, hey, let's just go out for dinner. We're going to have a good time. My sister would like to join me. Now, don't be judgmental. Maybe this is their way of saying, I can't leave my sister alone.
Yeah.
I need to bring her with me. When we do things, we do them together. So I'm not going to judge. But in that case, you need to now become wise and say, okay, if this is happening, I know we're like code red, girls in the. It's not like that, but it's more about let's assess if this is healthy for us, and let's talk. There's no issue in being in a gathering, and I'm gonna say this, where there are women in attendance and you're just enjoying the company of one another, so long as it's generally a public gathering and your interactions primarily are with men. If you're a man or you're a girl, with other girls. We have Muslim student associations, right? MSAs, Shia student associations, etc. Muslim student unions. These people, they need to meet. There are men, there are women, and it's better that there are men and women in these associations, by the way. It would be bad if the associations are only men. So in this case, where do these people like to meet? Let's meet somewhere nice, a good environment, a restaurant, a place where we can all hang out, and let's talk business. There's nothing wrong with that gathering. If a sister is by herself, though, I would encourage that the brothers keep this in mind and be very strictly professional. If possible, let them bring one girl with them as well. For the sake of the girl that's there, not to be surrounded with 15 men, all of them looking like, they're having a good time. You grow up and you see like you're the young one, and if you're with a group of people that are all older, you will feel out. And I'm not making this comparison between sisters and young children. I'm not. That's not what I'm trying to say. But there's a difference now. A bunch of guys, they're laughing and having fun. They're talking. They can joke because they're men, right? But the sister has to behave herself. That brings about a great deal of discomfort. So maybe as of courtesy, of course, there are sisters that can hold themselves in such gatherings. And more power to them, mashallah. And she's there to do a change and make good and make progress and build. And, I wouldn't be here anyways or otherwise, but this is what we need to do. That the men can also bring some women as well, just so that the sister is with the girl as well. If you're all going to talk business, what happens usually in meetings? I think you hear big CEOs, they like to say, we hate meetings. Elon Musk would always talk about this. He's like, meetings, I hate them. I cancel them. Why? Because meetings, they never really achieve the object of what they're here for. We're just wasting time talking. Did you hear what happened? I don't like the donuts. Could you bring more food? Can you do this? How was your day? And the actual matter, the subject, is not being focused on. So if a meeting is being held, let's say, for example, we're all just trying to hang out, and we're doing it under the guise and the category of business professionalism, 90% of that will not be professional. So if you guys are all chilling and hanging out, but then the one girl's just sitting out, or for example, there's a study group, a friend of mine told me, he's like, Sayyid, usually it's the girls that like to study more than men and formulate groups and take school seriously and more serious. So I go and I want to pass. It's all girls. Am I going to sit with them? So he's like, I sat with them and all they're talking about is anything but the exam. Did you see this movie? Did you see this dress? Did you hear about him? Did you hear about her wedding and divorce? And he's like, I'm just the odd one out. I wish I had someone else I can talk to. This is a guy now saying, I feel out of place and uncomfortable. What about sisters then? Surrounded by these guys out there. So it would be better that a guy thinks about others while they're there. And it's not just sisters, by the way. When we say the fiqh of chilling, think about your fellow bro that's being marginalized. Have you ever been to a gathering, Ahmed, where you've seen everyone's having a good time, but that one kid is sitting in the corner?
Yeah, it's happened a few times.
Ahmed, it happens all the time.
Yeah.
Just look around. I've been in gatherings, man, where that kid is always there and he's to himself. Why? He's maybe weird, according to them. Awkward. He can't hold himself in a conversation. You know, he can't hold himself in a good convo. Try your hardest. Put in an effort. Say, Habibi, how are you? What's up with you? What are you doing? He might not have anything interesting going on, but bring him into the conversation for goodness sake. You know, I was like that. You see how I'm talking extroverted in a way? I was that kid when I was younger. In a group of people, I would be with them. I would never interact. So introverted to myself and not speak. My father got notice of this, and he would force some of the friends of mine, talk to him. Talk to him. He's not going to open up. Some people are just like that. They're less prone to speaking out. So he would get some of the people that he knows and their children, be like, hey, include him in. And God bless all of our parents, but you see the work that they have to go through to make you not feel like you're the odd one out. Of course, this comes with the development of confidence, etc. And alhamdulillah, I hope, I've improved in that regard. But there are people, they just need other people to talk to. So when you're there and you see this, and you see this one guy is just not involved, and maybe they try joking, but their jokes are not really, they're just, man, just keep it quiet. That wasn't funny. That was silly. In fact, it was cringy and awkward. It's okay. Pretend like it was funny. Wallah, bro, I mean, I'm being very serious. I feel bad for these people sometimes, and you can only sympathize with them. You're going to chill. He's there. He's just pushed to the side. He's only there because his mom has to force him, take your brother with you, and the kid is feeling so left out. Not depressed because he sees them happy and they're not getting any of that. So keep that in mind. It's not just the sisters that might feel out of place in a predominantly male environment and they're joking around and she has to behave herself, for example. It could also be the guy surrounded by other sisters who has to just watch out. And it could be a guy with a bunch of other guys in their gathering and this guy is just marginalized, ostracized. The worst is when he gets picked on. He's there to have fun and he gets picked on. And the jokes are what? Don't worry, man. We're just joking around with you. Come on, man up. Bro, the guy is already struggling and you're going to do this with him and say these things about him. Ittaqullah. You wouldn't want to be in that situation also. Now, I can't necessarily speak about what goes on in sister gatherings and circles. I don't know. That's a different world for me. I can only sympathize. But from our point of view, these are things that need to be kept in mind when we go to chill.
So we discussed a lot of gatherings in which we're physically there, but what about some other forms of leisure that maybe have to do with gaming, for example, or maybe even going to a sporting event, for example. Even though this one is you're physically there, but you're just in an environment where there's just a bunch of people.
I'm surprised you didn't say shisha lounge.
Oh, yeah, the shisha lounge as well. There's a bunch of people there all smoking their hookah. So I think these are all environments that we kind of think of when it comes to chilling. But what are some of the things that we see, some issues that we see in these environments as well?
No, so you said video games first. There's nothing wrong with chilling and by having a gaming session. It's not haram. But of course, you have to have priorities. If you spend 9 hours and that's all you're doing, you wasted time. It's not wrong to spend money and time on entertainment. At the end of the day, you're not a robot. You need to bring some pleasure, halal ways, wind down, leisure, relax. You deserve it too, especially if you go through a long day, etc. But you have to also prioritize, your values, your principles, your time. Time is the most valuable thing ever. Some issues in the environments that you mentioned here. Say, for example, we're in a lounge or whatever. Bars haram.
Definitely.
Haram to be inside. Haram, period. Done, right? Easy. A table that has one glass of alcohol, haram to sit on that table. That's how people chill, by the way. I'm just there because they're my friends, right? Haram. Principled. Stand up. No, I can't do it. Shisha lounges. No. It's not necessarily the most encouraged thing, but no, it's not haram. It's haram when there's music. That's haram music. Now, what if the music is haram music, but I'm not listening to it? There's a difference between السماع والاستماع. إذا قرئ القرآن فاستمعوا. If the Quran is read, then listen to it, so you're paying attention. I can be in an environment where there's music being played, but it's haram music, but I'm not paying attention to it. It's not haram for me to be there. It's better to avoid it, like at a Walmart or a Walgreens. Then I'm there, and music, they play music, okay, rock and whatever. If you're not paying attention to it, you're not doing any sin. You can hear it. There's a difference between hearing and listening. If I'm at like a shisha place, right? Smoking is not something that is encouraged, of course. It's discouraged to do. But the environment in of itself, if there isn't haram being done, dancing, for example, not allowed. Drinks coming left and right, not allowed. In general, people are just sitting and having a smoke, not encouraged, but if we're talking legal, yes or no, it's not forbidden. Because the principles are not being violated. So just remember about the principles and the foundations there. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Sayyidina, for enlightening us on how to have a proper chill session, if you would like to call it.
The best way to look into this are the members of Ahlul Bayt. They had a wonderful time. They're real human beings. And you can just look at, for example, the Prophet of Islam enjoying the company of Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam. At night they would sit. There was a hadith in Manaqib al-Abi Talib, Ibn Shahr al-Shub, where they were eating dates. That is a famous story. And so the Prophet would eat the date, but take the pit of the date and put it on the plate of Imam Ali. And so his plate, by the end of it, would have no seeds, but Imam Ali's would have double, because he would put his plate, his pit, and the Prophet would put his on the plate of Imam. So by the end, the Prophet looks at Imam Amir al-Mu'mineen and says, Ya Ali, you must have been very hungry. Look at all the dates you ate. To which the Imam replied, Ya Rasulullah, you were hungrier because you ate the date with its seed, apparently. So they had that banter, and this would be a late night conversation. They would enjoy each other's company with family, with good influences. So we are able to have a wonderful time if we keep in mind the fiqh
of chilling. Thank you so much for once again enlightening us on this topic, and inshallah we can have a gathering like that of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam. Thank you so much for tuning in for this episode. Please stay tuned for the next one, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.